Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Rift Insight Season 2, Episode 1, actually. So I told you guys when the season was about to start again, we will start up Rift Insight again, and we are joined here by Trackhawk and a new guy named Javi. How you guys doing today?
Good. Is it Javi or Javi?
No, you're good.
I was over here butchering the frick out of that name.
No, it's all good. It's Javi. You wouldn't be the first one, so it's all good.
So we've had a lot of things go on, not just in our personal lives, most likely because of, the whole big bad COVID year. But how was your guys' holiday season since Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and now about to have the last holiday of the year, which is, well, New Year's. So, how you guys' New Year's and Christmas have been?
I mean, as good as we could ever have hoped.
I got everything I wanted in terms of items.
You got everything that you wanted? Yeah. I'm a fucking adult, so that means I got a hot
coal.
Chocolate,
socks.
And
Socks.
there you go, socks, yeah.
Dude, when you're a little kid and you get close, you're mad about it. But if you're an adult and you get close, I'm like, thank you. I'll use these.
Yeah,
I got jeans. Yeah, I got jeans, and I was like, yo, I've run through all of my jeans, so best Christmas present ever.
Oh shit! What about you, Javi? Who are you?
No, it was good. I got to spend a lot of time away from my computer, which is a good thing because I think most of the year, I have a lot of computer time, so it was good to get away and do other things, which is always fun.
How are you feeling about it?
Wait, what's that?
Javi's a gray hat, confirmed.
How are you feeling about season 11? I've been playing a lot of the preseason so far. Whoo, man, it's going to be a clown fiesta when it starts up again. Oh my god!
Changes.
It's a thing. Okay, ADC still feels useless in the sense that if I get fed, it still doesn't matter if the enemy team has a fed ADC or a fed assassin, because they'll just one-shot me unless you have insane CC and the abilities. But in gold platinum, it doesn't matter. So ADC still doesn't matter in the sense that every time I get fed, the enemy has a fed juggernaut or something that just shits on me instantly. And vice versa. It's I don't know what to think of it. It's either going to be the most snowbally season of all time or season 3 all over again, which wouldn't be a bad thing, but also, I really don't like getting shit on over and over and over again. I don't like playing ADC and feeling like it's just gray screen simulator all over again. So we'll see. It seems like they're retroactively changing a lot of things. So I don't know. Maybe things will get better, but
that's what it feels like too. You could outplay a 2v4 tower dive, and then literally the mid laner could just walk up, not do anything, just ult and kill you. That's bullshit. Yep. That's just actually stupid.
Zoe, I've just permabanned her because mid game comes around and it's her cooldowns are just insane. I don't even have to get hit by sleepy trouble. Okay, this is a legit thing that happened. 3-item ADC. 3-item, okay? And one of those was not Bloodthirster, but whatever the red mythic item. I don't even remember what the item is called anymore. Defensive as shit. Zoe one-shot me with 1 item. 1 item and boots. Luden's Echo and boots with just
what
1
the
Q.
Hell?
One Q.
My god.
That's it. No sleepy trouble bubble, no setup, just 1 Q. When I was on 3-items. It's and she's not even the most broken. That's the fucking insane thing. It's just I don't know what they were exactly attempting to do. I guess just turn League into the most fucking clown fiesta game that was humanly possible. What about you, Javi? What's your main role? Mid, bot?
I play a lot of jungle. I haven't played as much as of recent, kind of how I was saying, I've been trying to spend time away. But fair. I used to off-roll AD carry because my mechanics were garbage and I wanted better mechanics. So I was like, well, let me play AD carry to get better mechanics. But yeah, I think the AD carry situation has been that way for a while. I don't know. You don't get to play the game if you don't have a team to set you up.
Yeah. What about you, Nightwing? What do you
I love playing top lane and I love playing ADC. So I just had these ADC problems. It's the problem with ADC is that even if you play a simple, I love Jinx. Just like my favorite ADC of all time. I love Jinx. But even if you play Jinx and I'm like 13-0, I actually won the game. I had that just last night. Even if you have a 13-0 game and you're actually stomping, the mid laner and the top laner could just instantly destroy you. Even if you could possibly shred them, it doesn't exist anymore, to the point where, like, I want people to actually go back and watch Season 5. Let's say, go back to EU LCS, Season 5, SK Gaming, Spring Split of 2015. Watch Forgiven and watch how he played ADC. That style of ADC, that way you could play ADC in that season, which is what a lot of people said was a really great season still for ADCs after Season 4, which was still a prime for ADCs. That doesn't exist anymore. You can't take 2 towers by fucking 17 minutes anymore. You know, back then you could like evade everything. Back then you could like side tip everything. Like everything has an auto reset, a Q reset, E reset, W reset. If you hit your Q, then if you hit your E, like 2 seconds later, you get this ability. It's like there's so much more difference in the game, which I don't know. That's why I didn't really mind people when they played Mage's bot lane, because it's like, hey, if you can't beat them, join them. Fuck it. It doesn't matter.
That's what I was thinking. It was just, why even play AD carries if it seems like there's so much volatility in your ability to carry a game?
And I love playing ADC. I love positioning very well. I like just just still doing my role. But it's like, there's got to be a point where, like, if I have like 3 tank shred items and there's a Maokai and a freaking Orin mid and I can't shred through them, that's a problem. And why can an Orin one-shot you? Just knocks you up and kills you.
You know what I've run into a bunch that really has just been pissing me off? The double burn meta. So Malthazar or Brand or anything, they hit you with anything.
And you're dead.
And you lose at minimum half your health with like one item, because they're just burning on top of burning. And then they get whatever Leandri's Torment and add another burn on top of that. It's triple fucking.
The item is broken right now, by the way. But
yeah. I wouldn't doubt it. It's fucking insane. You get hit by anything and it's just like you lose half your health if you're lucky. And yeah, it's not a lot of fun right now, but we keep grinding. We keep grinding. And,
yeah, nothing's changed in the
and then we just cry more and go on
you just cry. Yeah. I've been doing that my whole life. That's just a part of That's just part of it. No, I don't know what they want to do with ADC. Like, I would rather them just go back to how it was in 2018, where you just, back in like the summer 2018, where you just take crit items, make them useless, and force people to start playing mages. Because I don't know, man. I love the role, but it's like they need some new variations. They need ADCs. We just see newer ADCs that are mages. That's what they need to start creating. Might as well.
Next.
You have to.
I mean, Rel's pretty cool, all things considered, but
she's like a baby Sejuani, except for support.
Yeah. Actually, I played with a Rel support, and it was just like, where is all this CC coming from? Like, I read her entire kit, and I didn't think it was like, oh, it's like 2 things that do CC, and then she like permalocks this poor enemy ADC for like 5 seconds, and I'm like, okay, I guess just 3 kills? Like, cool. We take those, yeah. NA, we take those. All right, what are we talking about today?
Oh, yeah. Wait, there's topics? No, there's no topics here. No, I'm just fucking around with you guys. So, as you guys know, for the 2021 Spring Split LCS format, there's going to start this new Kespa Cup tournament, basically. I don't know what it's going to be called after this year, because it's called LCS Lockdown, and I don't know if that's going to be the exact name for if we have to be, outside eventually, but for the moment, it's basically just called the NA Kespa Cup, and just want to just get you guys' thoughts and opinions on that, because most people, after it's over, if their team doesn't win, the whole argument will probably be like, oh, it doesn't matter anyway. You know what? TSM didn't win. It doesn't matter. It's like, at a certain point, we just have to stop saying things don't matter, because how far down the rabbit hole are you going? Because, like, which seasons will matter at a certain point? Is Season 5 going to matter anymore? Is Season 6 going to matter? Just things like that. I feel like this it doesn't matter thing is getting a little too out of hand with people. Because it's just like, if your team doesn't win, it doesn't matter. But it matters to my team because I like this guy. It's a long rabbit hole. But I want to let you guys say your thoughts and opinions on those type of things.
I mean, you go first, Javi.
For sure. Obviously, it's going to be a tournament of who meshes well first right off the bat. based on like what I've heard about what people are doing, it doesn't seem like that many teams are practicing. So it kind of just sounds like we're getting everyone raw. So the winner of this tournament is in this raw form. Who's going to win? And I would like to hear some thoughts and opinions about that, just because I don't know. You can make an argument in a lot of ways. You can say, I don't know, maybe someone like Immortal is just going to come in hot. They're just super raw with all that star-studded talent lineup. I'm being super ironic, but like you could make a case that like a random team can just come and take this. So that's something that's at least exciting, is that it shows promise for some of the teams that tend to not win all the time.
I mean, I wouldn't say it doesn't matter. I think that the reason people like took the whole meme and ran with it for Spring Split is because Spring Split literally had no impact. And this tournament is kind of the same, but at the same time, it's not supposed to. It's not like, whoever wins this gets a first seeding into or gets a seeding into the playoff bracket for Spring Split or something like that. They're very clearly making it just like hey, this is your warm up. This is your getting into the season. This is your like, test out, see who meshes well with who. If it's true, if teams really aren't practicing, which I find it really hard to believe that teams wouldn't be scrimming already, especially like I can't imagine that Team Liquid and Cloud9, after spending so much money securing their rosters, is like, yeah, no, it's okay, Jensen. You just kick back, man. It's just
yeah,
just a little
that's a good point.
It's sure it's only $150,000 a dollar prize package with like 50,000 go into whoever charity, but at the same time, it's like, you know what? I feel like whoever wins the tournament, sure, they might not win Spring Split or Summer Split or whatever. They might not be like the top tier team, but it should serve at least as a bit of a kind of wake up call to the rest of the teams, to the rest of the field, on maybe just getting everyone back into it without just immediately day one, just like, all right, straight to the LCS, let's fucking go. Especially with how much like they've made it very clear that every game matters for the LCS. So I think this is, at the very least, doesn't have the same kind of implications that you play literally half a year, like in previous Spring Splits, and it doesn't matter. At least this is like, you play how many potential games do you have here
for spring?
No, for the tournament. So 10 teams participate.
Okay.
2 groups. You've got the knockout stage. So what is that? 4 games. And then so like the winners, in theory, 5 games, 3 games, 3 games. Is that how it? All other matches are best of 5. No. So quarterfinals are 3. So 3, 5, 10. Yeah. So you have a potential for like 20 games or so, give or take. I probably didn't do the math right. That's a good number of games to get at least the blood flowing, I guess.
Yeah, it's like just hey Fudge, you know what? You gotta go face someday in your first game of the Spring Split. You know what? Hey, if you fucking suck, hey, it's not our fault, right? That's why I like tournaments like these. It gets you. It's like have you guys ever watched like competitive fighting, like UFC or boxing? They call the thing called ring rust. You want to make sure you have warm-ups to get the blood flowing. That way you're not coming in super rusty. I think also for this tournament, it's good to also have teams at the bottom feel out their rosters too. Like see what works, see how you can draft, see what other priorities you can go for. Like it's not really about the win. Yeah, it's not really about the win. People keep factoring in it's only about the win. I guess the win matters to a certain extent, but it's like you should be going into this not to win, in my personal opinion. You should be going in thinking, okay, how are we going to draft? What are this team going to take? What is red side going to take? What is blue side going to take? What does my mid laner need right now for his champion pool? What does our ADCs prioritize? There's a lot of different things that this tournament can offer you. What is my coach going to prioritize? How are they going to coach the team in a stressful situation? How are we going to play in a best of 5? Because at a certain point, you'll be playing best of 5. So how will your team have a nice mental fortitude for best of 5? Those are all these nice little things you have to, like a trophy and money. That's cool and all, but let's be honest here. These guys have money. And some of them, well, not all of them have trophies. No offense to any teams out there. Not all of you guys have trophies, but hey, you guys have money because you guys are literally buying expensive rosters. So I would say use this. This is especially really good for the bottom tier teams like potentially CLG, Dignitas. This is a perfect opportunity for Golden Guardians. Imagine that new Golden Guardians top laner coming out of Collegiate, or the guys that were in Collegiate coming to the league. You know what?
Shitting on Alfari or something.
Go play. Hey, Blaze Olive, go play Perks. You know what? Hey, it's all good, bro. If you get 0-10, it's all good, man. But
if you shit on him, like it's like the narrative is just spun so hard in your favor if you win.
Plus, you get really nice little narratives out of this. Like, just this past earlier year, Freak of Freaks won the Kespa Cup, I'm pretty sure. And a lot of people thought they're going to be a really strong team, outside of the general T1, damn one. And, Freak of Freaks turned to a piece of crap. Freak of Freaks were terrible. I feel bad for my boy Mystic. He went from being locked in freaking Team World Elite to being locked into a Freak.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Just, I don't know. It depends on how the league wants to structure it. And even though this format only works right now because we're still dealing with COVID for the first part of spring 2021, they still might potentially change it for 2022. I think these changes right now are just because we have to deal with these things right now. I'd imagine when we get to a crowd later on, we get to a live audience, but we'll see how it goes.
Part of that is also like there's the potential for I don't want to say the level of mayhem and debauchery that happens with All-Stars, but I feel like this is also, it does give teams at least a little bit of a chance to play around, test things out. Mm-hmm. And I know that there's the whole LCS in-house thing that's going on right now, which, by the way, is probably the best thing that
I've been watching it, actually. It's really good.
It's really good. Captain Flowers is the stream that I've been mostly watching for that and LS.
I've been catching Core JJ and Captain Flowers do it. Core JJ's been, whoo, man, that's going to be a good player going into this. Oh, my God. People are saying, I don't know about him.
It's depressing, actually.
So cringe watching people talk on Hotline League. Is Core JJ really going to be able to perform well in this up-and-coming spring split? Oh my God, you are actually just brain dead. What?
Okay, so anyone who's watched Kuroko no Basket, it's basically Core JJ. They've just been like stacking odds against Core JJ and just using him as like a benchmark of like, okay, how crap of players can we possibly put around you and you still carry them? Like, they literally, I watched one of the games. They fielded like the entire Team Liquid Academy roster with Core JJ against. My
boy Harry. Yeah. Oh my God.
And they smashed. It wasn't even like a competition at all. And I was just like, oh God. This is
See, I like these things. I like how we can finally get in-house, because that's something the pros have wanted for a while, was in-house scrims, so they can also, play with newer players and bring up them. And I like the idea of it. I always watch the streams whenever I can. There's so much league content nowadays compared to back in like season 5 that you get like thrust into so much. I remember just binge watching like Cloud9's series and TSM series back in the day. It's all you had pretty much. Cloud9, TSM, Fnatic. Team Liquid had their own little thing going on there, but it was like now you have more content to consume, and I like being able to. There's too much. Yeah. Really, I'll consume it all. It'd be like a dumpster truck, just sucking it all in. What
are your predictions on who's gonna do well in this tournament?
Actually, I could care less about who wins. Actually, the issue here is I would like if a bottom tier team actually won. That way, it gives them confidence that they can do it, but we know secretly they're not going to do it. So let's try. Yeah. Like, I would just love to see Dardoch win and then just shit talk everybody only to get absolutely destroyed when the spring split for 2021 starts. Oh my God, that'd be hilarious.
I think, it's tough because like top tier teams probably should take it seriously. But since it is fairly low risk, they might just choose to be like, all right, use this to knock the rust off, not get too many games. Like there might actually be a strategy where they're like, okay, let's not win so that we can play like X number of games and like get the rust kind of worked off. And then we just drop out so that way our players don't get like fatigue or whatever. So I don't know. I wouldn't say that it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it matters for some things, not
I
everything.
think it's also like a player thing. Like, are you really gonna tell like Perks like, hey, like take this tournament easy, like chill out, like that's
Honestly,
not.
I could
Yeah,
see Perks them being like, "Hey, Perks, can we just smurf this tournament?" And Cloud9 just goes like 20-0 and just is just sitting back, just like, all right.
lost the off
Kings in
season
the
again,
house.
boys.
Who's gonna
Yeah,
take
yeah.
it down?
That'd be a nice little narrative, like Perks just leaving G2 and winning the first NA Kespa Cup. That'd be a nice little narrative right there. It proves that he still got it. Like, who does in terms of the big teams, TSM, Cloud9, or Team Liquid, who will it matter more if one of those teams win?
TSM for sure.
I would say TSM.
Yeah.
They do have the weakest. Like, I would say 100 Thieves could surprise in this tournament. Like,
I was about to say that's my dark horse right now is 100 Thieves, because you look at the roster and it's like, could you see like a world where they win with the roster that they have? And in my eyes, yeah, definitely.
I think 100 Thieves and Evil Geniuses are kind of tied for me because they have a similar formula. My question is just whether or not did they finalize Jizuke, right? In the mid lane. So my question is whether Jizuke actually performs or not, because I think Evil Geniuses has a higher potential with their roster, but 100 Thieves has better proven performance with their players.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. 100 Thieves have the recency bias going in. EG have players that all are actually pretty good. You know, I was thinking more today. That EG roster is actually kind of good.
Yeah.
People were really downplaying them. Like Impact, Finskaren, Jizuke. Arguably, Jizuke was like the fourth or third best mid, depending on how you look at 2020 for him. And then you have Definitely and Ignar. I don't think Definitely will be that good, but you have Impact, Finskaren, Jizuke, and
Definitely also not an anchor though. Like there's a lot of ADCs where you could just be like, this is dead weight. Definitely is definitely not on that list.
Yeah, I think for this team he actually fits pretty well, considering who he has on his team. It's like you have Impact, who's a rock. You have a volatile as heck
jungler.
What is it, mid laner, and then you have Finskaren that can.
I would say both are volatile. I would say both Finskaren and Jizuke are good players together. We saw their playstyle. Finskaren's playstyle complemented Jizuke's. Like there was a game against like Cloud9 or I think 100 Thieves where like they were going for a play and they both all in at the same time and they got so much advantage off their play. I really like when they play together, and you really saw the disconnect when Finskaren got to play with Golden Glue. No offense to Golden Glue, but it's like, come on, bro, you're not pulling in the weight.
Yeah. No, it was it's interesting to see. We're gonna cycle back to this over and over and over again. TSM has the most to prove. So like out of any team that should be aiming to win, it would
prove their fans wrong. So I'm saying this is the most. I have never seen TSM fans bat for a roster so hard they haven't even seen play a game yet. This is not a traditional TSM roster I've seen from them. Like this is a roster for like fucking 100 Thieves, Golden Guardians, Team Liquid. This is
it though? Like
weird territory, man. This doesn't feel like a roster they would build together. Like maybe Power of Evil is like the most complementary piece.
Let's go through this. They have a import support like Mythy before. They have a well, I don't want to say proven ADC because Lost isn't technically proven yet, but they at least have a consistent ADC. They have a mid laner who, for all intents and purposes, is
control mages.
Top 3.
Yeah, top 3. They have a jungler who is, at least on paper, good. At least on paper, good.
Yeah.
And they have a top laner who has carry potential.
I just would usually see TSM breaking the bank for more. You know, that's what I would usually see. But this is a TSM roster. I mean, I see the upside in him. Maybe Hooney, he told Bjergsen. I knew he told Bjergsen, look at my season 5 and season 6 highlights. Don't watch the rest of my career after that point. Hey,
I mean, to be fair, top lane, we've seen top lane be absolutely fucking dumpster in this season. It's got the potential for feast or famine, and Hooney is, if nothing, a feast and famine top laner. So
think my issue here with TSM and potentially winning is like Spica. Like, and the thing that goes back to 100 Thieves is it's like this. The recency bias on these players is strong. And it's like throughout most of the year, there was a lot of problems these players had before they had their peak Spica at Worlds 2020. And then you had the Golden Guardians players peaking when they almost 6-0 TSM. So those are my only issues with the players is are these them, or are they just only peaking because of just the metas that they're in? That's kind of what I'm going after with these guys.
I mean, if even if they are, the just straight up Damwon wouldn't have won season 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. None of those, they would have never won. Like, obviously, there's a certain amount of luck that comes down to having the right team in the right meta at the right time. And so, you know, whether a meta favors a team or not, I feel has gotten to the point where metas change so oftenly nowadays. If it doesn't favor them at the time of playoffs, then they just have to hope that they're able to adapt fast enough so that the meta doesn't impact them, you know, have the C9 effect or anything like that.
If TSM win the lock-in tournament, oh my god, you will never hear the end of it on their Reddit. Oh, I told you guys! I told you Huni wasn't washed up!
Okay, I
think there's a real world where they can win. It's just a question of whether the other teams... Okay, so straight up, if Team Liquid and Cloud9 don't take it seriously, that is the only way that TSM should be able to win.
There's a world I could see TSM versus 100 Thieves finals for this.
Yeah, 100%. And that would actually be a great finals. It's just... It's more of a question of who decides to take this seriously, who decides to actually use this as a chance to basically just in TSM, they have a reason to take it seriously because they want to bitch slap the expectations that you know everyone was putting on their players and on their roster. C9, believe it or not, has a reason to take it seriously, just to, you know, let perks off the chain and basically just, you know, follow up on the hype video. Team Liquid doesn't really have I would say they don't really have an excuse or a reason to like take it 100% seriously.
I would just say it's just Core JJ in that aspect. I don't think it would go into Core JJ's mind not to take this seriously, you know?
But Core JJ takes everything seriously. So that's
and I think that mentality would affect the team too as well. He's like, okay, guys, I know we might not be able to, you know, put this on like I don't know how to say it. How do I say this? It's like if one player wants it so bad, I feel like sometimes other players want it too, and I think that might affect the team if that makes sense.
That's true. And in that,
I guess there's like a synergy question as well. Like not so much just like, you know, how seriously people take it, but also like, you know, do these players complement each other well, just naturally? Like,
what if CLG makes the finals? Oh my god! What if CLG versus TSM? Oh no, our league is terrible.
No. Okay. No. But I hate to say it that now that you mention it though, like CLG has the easiest time potentially fielding their roster. So if what Javi is saying is true and the teams aren't practicing and they're basically just coming into this raw dog, which then it actually stands to reason that CLG fielding the most experienced roster
might potentially
work for them. So
yeah, and they automatically have the edge over teams like Immortals, potentially Dignitas, and Golden Guardians.
Everyone has an advantage over Dignitas and no. I'm not going to shit on them unnecessarily, but no, you're right. In terms of like, you know, the rookie rosters that everyone has question marks over their head. Yeah, CLG does have a natural advantage over them just from having, you know, experienced players and everything. So you do have a point there.
Yeah, the issue here with the tournament is I hope it goes on more and more and more. I don't think it's something that Riot should take away. I think that this is something that they should have for a very long time. We could even have a point where maybe if teams don't want to take it seriously and don't want to full try hard, they get in their academy roster. Give them all experience. This is a good thing for the long term. I like it, actually.
That's actually a good point.
Yeah, that's a world I see for sure as well.
Korea does it all the time. They legitimately, hey, Faker, you don't go to this tournament. You sit home, keep streaming. All Academy roster go play. But Faker plays all the time, so he's different. He just wants to play. Gosh.
Yeah, honestly, like that's actually a really good point. I didn't even consider that. Sending the LCS Academy rosters would actually be a massive fucking benefit in like every way, shape, and form. The only question would be whether or not the other teams decide to let's be fair. If someone sends an Academy roster and your group consists of TSM, Cloud9, Team Liquid, and none of them send their Academy roster, your Academy team's probably not going to learn much because the games are going to be 15-minute games. It's kind of unfair in that, like, so I think if the teams communicated and were like, hey, we're sending our Academy roster, or they get like a better group draw, like, I don't know. I think that Academy rosters versus like Dignitas, Golden Guardians, Immortals, maybe Evil Genius and 100 Thieves is like, this is, if you can beat these teams or stand toe to toe with them, you're making good progress. Versus the top tier LCS teams, it would kind of be a feels bad moment.
Yeah, something that I wanted to talk about really quickly is at what point did teams know? I don't know if this is public, but at what point did teams know that this tournament was happening? Because if it happened late in the off season, then it's like, well,
that's a good question, actually. I guess we don't know because none of us are actually. Well, maybe Nightwing because he's got connections.
Avi does. Avi, you have connections?
You have connections?
I don't know.
I have very few connections, and it's hard to talk to them sometimes because it's like they're just always so busy. It's like, how do I even ask for things? It's like, hey, want to come on via podcast? They're like, oh yeah, but I'm not busy. But just most of it's actually they're busy. People don't actually understand that they're busy all the time. That's just how the life is. That's crazy, man. I could imagine like we have like a little bit of downtime for what we do, but it's like they don't really have downtime. Esports is a thing that you have to kind of keep going with the flow.
Yeah, and then another question I have is what teams have to gain the most for sending their Academy rosters, and the answer is the teams that actually care about Academy, and which teams care about Academy. We could argue about that, but
let's see who has, because there's two teams. I'm pretty sure EG and you mentioned Dignitas don't even have their Academy rosters finalized. So let's see. 100 Thieves could send theirs. Cloud9 could send theirs. FlyQuest could send theirs. Team Liquid could send theirs. Yeah, actually, the only teams that haven't finalized is it looks like. No, wait, Deus. I think I remember reading something that Deus was going to be signing with CLG. So it's just EG and Dignitas who couldn't send their Academy teams. I do believe.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at like Cloud9's roster and I'm like, all right, if they had to play LCS teams, could they win a tournament like this? Like, sure.
They have King and Shenfire. I think the only question mark for me. Well, actually, no. Darshan's not exactly a bad top laner by any stretch of the imagination. So yeah, actually, that's a fair point. Cloud9's Academy roster is.
Like the issue here with the Cloud9's roster for their Academy team. I don't know why you pick up Zion Spartan. I know the reason. Just a veteran presence and you teach the guys. That's literally it. You're not picking up
smart.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you're not picking up Zion Spartan.
Tryharding. What is it? What is called the in-houses? So I think like if you look at
maybe he got his drive back, like maybe, but it's like, are you really like realistically see it this way? Sometimes I see Academy teams as if like if there's the off chance things go bad, will this player get promoted? It's like, do you ever really see Cloud9 promoting Zion Spartan over Fudge? It's just like I just don't see it happening. That's why you only go for the coaching role.
You don't go to the Academy roster, or you don't play on the Academy roster with the explicit idea that you're going to replace the person on your LCS roster. Because let's face it, that would be a massive fucking feels bad moment for Copy. Like, yeah, okay, Copy. Yeah, you're competing for your spot against Perks. Good luck. It's like, no. But in reality, Copy could very much potentially replace, I would say, depending on the performance, you could see him replace almost anyone except maybe like Power of Evil, Jensen, and Perks. But those are like the top 3 mid laners in NALCS. So, I think the idea that you're going to directly replace your LCS counterpart is iffy.
Mm-hmm.
You have like the Fudge situation doesn't happen a lot. People yes, we've seen Cloud9 constantly promote their academy team members and stuff like that, but it doesn't happen all the time. Blabber, Sven Skaren, Licorice and Fudge,
Smoothie and Zazel.
Yeah.
But that's like 3 examples out of all the teams. Tactical and Double Lift. Like we're talking about like sub 10 examples.
It was CLG did it too. Remember with the Tuesday and Full Belter and their last
Tuesday and Full Belts. Yeah. Yeah.
You just look at them. Oh God. Oh, Immortals. Remember Immortals? They had 4 players in, with 4 players out.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going down to the actual rabbit hole.
Internal screaming.
So yeah, I think this tournament will be a very good thing for the league. I think this is something we've always needed. People have asked for this. I just don't want to turn it into a thing where it's like people ask for it, then when they actually get it, they don't want it. Just like with Dardoch on TSM. People always want a Dardoch on TSM. He should always be on TSM. He's exactly what they need. Well, they throw him out after a split. So, be careful what you wish for is all I have to say. But anything you guys want to say on that topic before we move on?
Yeah, we're good. I'm good.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. And TSM sucks, as always. All right. Let's go and do our LCS 2021 Spring Split mid lane tier list. Let's go. Shout outs to I Am Jerb YouTube. Cool guy. Know the guy. Awesome dude. All right. So, who are we putting for our tier list?
Shit, I need to full screen this shit. All right.
I think we need to move Perks to S tier, but I think that's a given.
All right, so Perks is in the F tier, obviously.
S tier.
What do you mean he's in the F tier? Javi, you must be fun.
All right. Okay, so we got. Let me just run through. Let me just make sure that I got all the names correctly. We got not in order, by the way.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure we got Demonte, Perks, Pobelter, Sligo. That's how you say that. Jizuke, Palafox, a Blaze Olive. Is that how?
Yeah.
Insanity, Jensen, and Power of Evil.
Yep.
So just Perks in S tier, and I'll say this: Power of Evil and
Jensen are A tier.
Jensen. I mean,
if you want to, you can make an argument for Jensen to be in the S tier too.
You can make a lot of arguments. I would say Jensen. I would say Jensen in S tier would be.
Come on, he's horrible.
Yeah, Jensen worst mid laner in LCS.
The alcohol he missed like 4 years ago or something. Like
exactly. Obviously, he's terrible.
So you guys, I'm pretty sure for the top 3 mid laners, Perks S tier, Jensen and Power of Evil A tier. Would that be fine?
And we don't even. Well, okay. So the problem I have with that is just that there are potentially good other mid laners. Like if we talk about Jizuke
could be a secret A tier.
He has the potential for being A tier, but the problem is if we set the A tier at Power of Evil and Jensen,
he could go to B tier, honestly.
Yeah. So I almost feel like Jensen S tier is fair, at least. Perks S tier potential, Jensen is definitely S tier just right now.
If we're going based off Worlds 2020, you can make an argument Power of Evil's even S tier by how he played. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, all 3 of them have the potential. It's just a question of who really shows up. Like, I know a lot of people. I knew that's going to be controversial because everyone's like, "Oh my god, Perks is the best. Is just going to come in and smurf stuff." No, Perks is probably going to go even in lane with Jensen and Power of Evil most of the time. That if he doesn't, if Perks just comes in and smurfs on Jensen and Power of Evil, then I just feel bad for all existing NA mid
Hey,
laners.
did he not
because,
say it? We're gonna go perfect in the spring split, perfect in playoffs, perfect in MSI
Yeah, but
groups.
there's a difference between like going perfect and like
in NA.
smurfing on your mid laner. Like you can have a perfect season and still have other teams use like their specific games as like, okay, we at least got an advantage here, or we outplayed them here, so maybe we can find a pressure point to exert, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I think a harder thing to do is to state who is the worst.
Because most people would say a Blazolve is the worst, but that would go based off you guys not generally watching Academy games. That's not fair to him. So is it fair to put him at F tier? I wouldn't say so. I would say, just for the sake of argument, he should be C tier. Soligo could be F tier. I mean, last time most people saw this guy, he was bad. But same thing with the Blaze Olive. He apparently improved in Academy. I don't really watch too many of his games, but if he improves, then it's like, where do you have the cutoff here for F tier? It's like that becomes the issue. I don't think none of them are actually F tier, if I'm being honest. But you never know. These two are probably the only F tier candidates.
I can at least see that personally. It's tough. Palafox and Pobelter at least aren't bottom tier.
Yeah.
Insanity has like the biggest question mark for me. Just because like your Academy players are just, there's question marks all around them, but Insanity is sus for me. Just I don't know how to feel about
I think he played well given his circumstances, but I don't know if that's really him as an overall player. That's my problem with him. Yeah. But it's like, I don't want to put any of these guys in F tier, but Palafox, I've seen his games. He's definitely not F tier.
He's definitely not F tier, but he's not F tier in the sense of, well,
LCS mid laners.
How do you define F tier?
How do you define F tier?
Complete dog. Oh, God. Do I have to be mean? Golden Glue? I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding.
Why you got to do the swole, bro? Like, why you got to do it dirty like that?
An F tier mid laner would be someone that I can't think of the guy's name right now. Oh my God, it's actually gonna escape my brain. It would be Soligo. That'd be an F tier. His performance back in 2019 would be that of F tier. Just completely bad. Not trying, going on stage, just giving up. That would be the standard. Yeah, just basically just not useful at all. I don't see a world where any of these guys aren't useful. Because if I'm looking at, let's say, Jizuke, I think he's a dark horse mid laner. Pobelter, the problem here is that,
so are we ranking them based off potential or current record?
You could do both, because doing current record is also just recency bias, which is fair. It's completely fair.
Okay, Jizuke is definitely A tier though.
Okay.
If for just potential. Which also unfortunately means that DeMonte
is B tier.
Okay. And everyone else kind of falls below that. It's like, okay, that's a lie. Palafox,
Pobelter is C tier.
Pobelter, I could put in B tier just because Pobelter's got insane consistency.
Yeah,
like when was the last time you watched a Pobelter game and you're like, oh man, Pobelter got his shit pushed in?
Yeah,
I can think of maybe like 2 games and in his entire career off the top of my head. There's probably more, but it's like he is so damn consistent. And Palafox at least has potential. Yeah. So
here's what I'll say. I think based off some of their teams, even if they aren't personally just complete garbage, the teams will be on will put them near F tier. So like Soligo, a Blaze Olive, Insanity. I think they would be here just because of their team, but not personally because of their gameplay, if that makes sense.
But then if we're basing it off of like gameplay, Soligo looked better in my opinion than Insanity. And a Blaze Olive, at least, he put up a fight against Palafox and a few others when he was in Academy. So I can at least respect that. For me, Insanity is probably the only real F tier, just because he hasn't shown any real potential to me for like, willingness to go into fights and actually try and like, take the risky plays and shit like that, which for me is a big tell. If you're not willing to if you're not willing to commit to the risky plays, then you're just never going to be able to carry.
Yeah.
So I would say Insanity for me is probably the lowest, with everyone else just coming in at C, just because we don't exactly know what their top end.
Even if I'm factoring this list in, I would be more inclined to put Saligo at bottom, because like we're looking at all these guys like Perks, Jensen, Power Vivo, Jizuke, Demonte, Pobelter. Is he really going to be clapping these guys in lane? Like that's so unrealistic, honestly.
I mean,
I just don't see it, man. Like a Blaze Olive at F tier, no. I think given the players around him, he'll be able to carry better, because we have to kind of factor in based off mid lane performance. It's also determining on how your team is also doing as well, to a certain extent. It's also your own gameplay too. Like these bottom tier guys aren't hard carries. Palafox, I've seen some games where he could be the hard carry. That's why he has the C tier for me personally. But I mean, we do have to decide on
fair. No, that's fair. That's fair.
I agree.
Demonte, he was carrying some games. He carried a game against Cloud9. The TSM games, he was really doing well in those. Pobelter, he was the only reason why COG were even relevant at a certain point.
Yeah.
Jizuke,
no, you're 100%.
So we have Jizuke here, and the issue here with Jizuke is even before he got kicked off Evil Geniuses for the rest of the 2020 season, he still was pretty strong. I thought he was still pretty good. He's not a bad miller by any stretch of imagination.
He's got potential. It's just a question of whether or not, he's able to unlock that.
There's also this thing where it was like teams just started banning him out, and it was like, what does he play after?
After he get his like LeBlanc and the Galio and the Orion, he's just kind of like, eh.
But now we've got so many assassins, which Jizuke is like, So
it also helps that his team can help cover him in the draft as well, compared to the team that they drafted.
The team before
have impact, like you have to respect his bans, etc.
So basically, are we just saying that Saligo and a Blaze Olive are the only real candidates for F tier?
I'm cool with that.
Right. Was it a Blaze Olive or Insanity? Because you made an argument for a Blaze Olive.
No, I made the argument for Palafox. All of them down there, because like you're factoring in like the issue here is what a lot of the arguments for the academy mid laners is that they'll do well in the LCS. The argument for that comes from them doing well in the academy scene. Now, the academy scene definitely has bad mid laners to a certain extent. It's like people are valuing their performance based on their caliber of players versus what is the actual good players, though.
Okay, I follow what you do. Okay,
yeah, that's kind of why he's down there. And I wanted to bet Saligo did improve, but how much did he improve to take down all these guys up here? Like, did he? If he can't even be as good as Demonte, like that's just putting him still down here. Insanity, there was some games where he was pretty good in. I'll say that. He had a few Oriana games where those are, but that would probably put him at C tier. But the issue here is like,
but like Insanity also, if I remember correctly, he got dumpstered by a Blaze Olive.
Also, that's the thing here. There's 3 candidates for potentially F tier. What is the LCS doing? Oh my god.
I'm cool with this right here.
They're
fine list right here.
Yeah.
You can make the argument for Power View being maybe A tier because, like, in terms of more harder carry potential, it goes to Jensen and Perks. But I feel like Power View has always hard carried his teams. The FlyQuest all year was hard carried by that guy. If they don't have that guy, I don't know what their roster looks like, but that looks
Power of Evil at least looks like he should be S tier.
Yeah.
It's just a question of, and this is just where I run into, we have not seen Jensen actually, have to fight really hard to stay even or to get ahead against a lot of mid laners until Worlds. And yes, he looked, at least passable there, but it's, Team Liquid, kind of, yeah. So I would say like Jensen at least has the proven track record, and Perks has the insane high potential threshold to put them in S tier. Power of Evil, I just don't know. I haven't seen Power of Evil go up against. I haven't seen him do anything in. Recently. No, that's a lie. We saw him at least hard carry and be able to to stand alone against a few of the
World-class mid laner.
the world-class mid laners, but we just never. What was the best mid laner that he went up against?
He Flame Horizon Chovy, and he did really well against Knight.
Yeah,
and he did really well against Knight. Yeah.
So there's like, if he maintains that, then yes, he's an S tier, but like bottom rank S tier, because I still don't see a world where he harder carries than Jensen, but I think he at least like almost reaches the same potential.
And even on his new roster, though, it's like that kind of seems like a FlyQuest 2.0 roster of just basically Sword Art and Spica playing around Power of Evil. They might because the issue with Power of Evil, and it's not an issue. It's just like the same thing with like Double Lift. They become that team. You become a Power of Evil team. You become a Double Lift team. So
minus
Javi,
attitude issues.
Javi, what do you think?
I think this is solid.
Sorry, Insanity.
I have no comments. I have no comments. It's just this looks pretty good to me.
All right, dude. Tell me Damonte's trash. No Tanner Time is gonna save you 100 Thieves fans this split. No, I'm just kidding.
I think he's not trash, but he's not
definitely
like
not trash.
great.
Yeah, depending on how this split goes, if we do this for 2021 summer split, he could be A tier. But I think overall, from what I just saw out of him, he's a B tier mid laner. And that's not bad. You have 2 NA mid laners in B tier. I think that's pretty good because
I was about to say he's born here, so from this actual, not like these other imports that are just taking up our S tier. But
God, if I had to see Ryoma, Ryoma would take up the entire F tier slot. Oh my God!
I mean, is Damonte an upgrade over Ryoma? Let's.
It's like that's a pretty big upgrade right there. If you're really factoring that in, that's big. That's in Damonte's case. I like that. Perks is potential too. Like I love Cloud9. Obviously, I love Perks, but it is potential he definitely fails. Will that happen? Most likely no. Let's be honest here. Is Perks really gonna come over here and just not shit in the bed?
I mean, probably not. But
there's always the case. There's always the chance. I'll leave the chance open.
If Cloud9 shits the bed, it's not going to be because of him though.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. All right, let me create the other one, and then you guys can talk amongst yourself for just a moment, okay?
So, Javi, there is another YouTuber that I watched religiously who did League of Legends content, and he had a friend named Javi. So by chance, are you the Javi from Trinity Immortals?
I am not, unfortunately.
Damn it!
I was hoping to say yes, but no.
Hoping to say yeah. So what's your background? Because have you been on here before? Like, there's been a lot of cycling. So have you been on the live stuff or the C9 Fancast before? Or?
No, this is my first time. I just got pulled in because this dude liked my take on Hotline League, and so he asked me to join, and I was like, yeah, sure. Like, it sounds like a fun time.
Well, let's hear your hot take from Hotline League.
It wasn't a hot take because everyone kind of agreed, but it was that we need like a League of Legends centered tournament, or not tournament, but a convention for people instead of All-Stars. And my reasons were pretty much like, let's do a for fun event, but actually make it actually be for fun. Like, let's go all in on that. And
I actually really like that take. Oh my God, a convention just for league where you can meet the teams. Holy shit, that's the best idea I've ever heard of my life. Where have you been? Where have you been all my life? Oh my God.
Right? Where's my job, right?
All right, guys. We're gonna do it right now. So now, after we did the mid laners, this is our 2021 Spring Split ADC tier list. So
ADC is talking about ADCs. Well, all of them are trash, and I should be signed.
All right, so let's start here. All right, so Wild Turtle there's only a D tier. So it's gonna put that shit in F. Oh God. All right,
you didn't even put in an F tier, man. Come on.
What?
Come on.
All right, let's go. Oof, a lot of recency bias in this one, and a whole lot of inconsistencies. Yeah. So, no offense, but Stixay has been pretty bad for quite some time. Like,
that's fair.
Dude has been phoning it in. And how is he at the starting spot where Cody's son is damn near beyond me? You know.
Yeah, that's actually very true. The fact that Stixay. Although, again, we talked about this on one of your previous ones where it's like, you know what, there is the potential for buying because of fans or trying to get people over to your brand and stuff like that. But that aside, yeah, in terms of just, versus the other ADCs, I think Stixxay has had the worst recent performances. So it's like,
The
Yeah,
guy,
it's yikes.
what's his name? Isles? No, that's not right. Is that Isles or Babbies? One of the legacy esports guys. It's the Immortals AD carry. I just forgot his name.
I'm
okay,
not sure.
so
I forgot his
there
name.
is. So there's FBI's Van, Wild Turtle, Neo, Deathly, Johnson, Stixxay, Rise, Tactical, and Lost are the ADCs for the
Isles. Okay.
So it's probably actually, you know what? I'll just pull up the current rosters and just double check. So who? Immortals? Because Immortals is Rise.
Rise. Okay.
Yeah. RAES. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. Raise.
Isles.
Rise.
Raise. Oh my goodness. Raise. Okay. Raise. If you go by just off that game they had against LGD, he looked pretty solid. Now, if you take every other game to account, that guy looked like some trash.
But that does put a point in his favor.
What?
Well, it just puts a point in his favor. The fact that, even if you only have one good game, it does at least show that you have the potential for good games.
Yeah.
And whether the question is just whether or not. For me, the big question is unfortunately going to be Neo. I know he had a couple of decent games on Dignitas Academy, but
wasn't he off at one point? Oh yeah, he's not that bad.
He's not bad, but in terms of like, okay, I hate to say it, but we've got some stacked ADCs. Like, okay, S tier, we've got Sven, we've got Tactical. I would personally say that those are the only
no, because I don't know.
Definitely goes into A tier at the very. I would say definitely at minimum goes into B tier. Johnson at minimum goes into B tier, and Wild Turtle. I mean, that's tough. Wild Turtle wasn't shit by any stretch.
But he wasn't fantastic. I would say Wild Turtle's comfortable at C tier.
Yeah. So at this point, we're just like we're left again with the rookie question of like, which rookie is gonna be better than Stixxay? So like,
what do you think, Javi?
I don't know. What's the OC one? Lost, right?
Raise. Yeah, well, they're both OC. Lost and Raise are both OC.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. I kind of think both, to be honest.
Did you see his time on Echo Fox back in summer 2018?
I saw some of there, and I also see a little bit of like their their in-houses, and it's like I look at Stixxay's in-houses, and I look at these two rookies in-houses, and I'm just like, all right, these two are immediately better in my head, but I don't know.
I mean, Stixxay, I haven't seen an in-house where he's performed well. So and like that, even when he's versus other academy players, it kind of feels bad. Now, granted, I believe one of those games was with Court JJ as a support, so you're gonna lose. But yeah, I feel like at least the rookie talent, at least in terms of just sheer mechanical potential, and they have better mechanical potential because I saw Stixxay fail flash twice in an in-house series, and it's like once is bad, twice is just, dude, what are you doing?
Oof. The problem with Lost is that if you go off just by academy games, he did look a lot better. The problem is if you go off his recent performance in the LCS, which was at least 2 years ago, roughly about, it wasn't bad. He was a Varus one trick. If his Kai'Sa and Varus got banned, he looked like a pretty average ADC. That's the issue here. Like, I see him as very, very draft dependent, but that's every player in existence, so it's not really a knock towards him.
Then we're looking at Echo Fox.
Yeah, smooth. Oh god, not that roster. Oh god,
Echo Fox was a real feels bad moment. And as great as Rick Fox is, that team that team got shafted by a lot of bad luck. So
Yeah.
I feel like that probably wasn't the best showing. So I would at least give him the benefit of the doubt that even if he was, even when he was a Varus one trick and his Kaisa, those were like his two main champions. I'd give him at least the benefit of the doubt in the fact that even then, with his main champions banned out, he still looked passable. He was still better than Stixay. If we're using Stixay as like the base, I would say he at least, reached wild turtle levels of, passable. So that in my mind, Lost is at minimum a C. I would personally put him in B just because I do see potential for him.
Yeah. Because if TSM really thought he was dog shit, they would just bought another ADC, honestly.
Yeah. So he he might not be another double lift. I think he at least has the potential to get into the A tier, which, you know what? That's a hell of a lot better than the C and the D.
Let's see, Raze. I would be fine putting Raze in C tier. I need to see a little bit more out of him. He seems like a player that it really was dependent on Draven when he got it. Like the other picks didn't look great. His Jhin looked fine, but I just want to see more out of him. I need to see a little bit more out of him to really put him anywhere lower or higher, depending on where he's at. Now, FBI is a good player. But then again, FBI also struggled a little bit before he really came out of his shell. And I need to see that consistency out of him. He's a good player. We've seen it. It's possible. But those in-team moments where he flashed in on Callista, all these other bad moments he's had, people just overlook these things, The
one thing I like about FBI, even though I dunk on him a lot, is at least he's willing to, take the risk.
Yeah.
We see the B tier ADCs have a theme about them. They're fairly safe in terms of their pick. FBI at least is willing to, commit to a play, which is something that I can't really say for a few other ADCs.
That's why I was questioning. Maybe definitely should be in C tier. I haven't really seen him perform that well recently.
Like LGC in the Oceanic League, they were, fun to watch.
Yeah.
But at least I think that Rise at least has the. I don't want to put him in D tier simply because that team was a little bit crazy, and everyone was maybe not on the same page.
Yeah.
So I'd at least give him the benefit of the doubt of saying, you know what, if someone says, "Hey, flash forward," he's going to do it.
Yeah,
it might not be the correct play, but at least he commits to it. I can see him at least committing to some of these plays.
I would put definitely in C tier. Honestly,
I wouldn't.
Really?
Definitely is definitely better than no. Oh God, English. What is this? Definitely better than Wild Turtle, and I would say at least on paper better than Rise.
But Wild Turtle recently did look pretty passable, but we haven't really seen much of it definitely in a while, though.
Sure, but oftentimes that's kind of better. Like the reason we dunk on Wild Turtle is because we saw him.
We've seen so much of this guy.
Yeah, we just see him like, oh shit, flash into base to get execute kills and shit like that when, you could have ended the game. So Wild Turtle, good. I would never say currently I wouldn't say a team is bad for picking up Wild Turtle, especially, some of these lower tier teams.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you have the option to pick up someone better, go for it. It's just definitely, in my mind, at least has higher potential than Wild Turtle, which at least elevates him to B tier. Like Wild Turtle versus definitely at their top potential currently, I would say definitely beats Wild Turtle, which is why I would put him a little bit lower. But like that's just me. That's just based on
what you see.
What I see. Yeah.
But in terms of the only two S tier, are you safe putting Tactical in the S tier? I thought he looked fantastic, honestly.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you put Tactical in the S tier?
I thought he looked great. Sven, the reason because people are probably gonna be like, well, why are you putting Sven in S tier? Didn't his team fail at the very end? Sven was the only reason why they were still winning games. Like, let's be honest here. He was the only reason. He was the only player they were drafting for. Yeah, he was the only player you're drafting for, and the only player that was carrying your team, and he still didn't even look that bad. Like at worst, you could maybe throw him in like S tier. No, sorry, A tier. But I'm not putting just like tactical up there in the S tier. Obviously,
tactical is not like the only. I have so many problems with NA ADCs because like, are any of them even really the best? Like it's just...
Well, the issue here is like tactical. Like let's say tactical has to play with a support like Huhi. Will he really look that good? Like a lot of these guys are complemented by their supports, though. You know.
Yeah, and so Sven had Vulcan, but at least with Sven, when Sven was hard carrying,
you saw the potential is still there.
You eventually got to the point where it wasn't Sven and Vulcan, it was just Sven 1v5ing. Like there wasn't these crazy plays. With tactical, it's like almost all of his highlight reel that I've seen in recent years, or I say recent years, but it's really just last year.
Weeks, months.
Almost all of them are set up by Core JJ. So it's like without Core JJ, would tactical have really looked that good? Probably. Like just straight up, he is a mechanically good
Logan? How you doing,
ADC
Logan?
and everything. But
tactical was a rookie last season and did as good as Prime double lift in his group 1-3-3-3. Oh yeah, that's fair.
No, you're 100% right. It's just like for me, if we're talking about the best ADC just by themselves, Sven carried by himself a lot of the games.
Yeah, the issue here is like, let's see, swap them. Does tactical carry seen on the same way Sven would carry Team Liquid?
It's possible. It's 100% possible, and that's why we're putting him in S tier because he does look like he has that potential. Sven gets S tier simply because he has shown that potential in a lot of games.
Yeah.
So it's like, and so then if actually, if we're going it off of carry potential, Lost has carry potential. Just saying.
Oh my god, it's just League is, that's why I love this game. There's so many dynamics to this game because tactical has the benefit of the doubt as Core JJ being his support. We saw Sven just on his own playing that good. It wasn't just like Vulcan was helping him that much. It's like you already see him playing that well because that's just him as a player. We never really seen tactical play this well, outside of just Core JJ. That's just, it's not a knock toward him. That's just what it is, That's how I see it. FBI is a solid A tier. But there's an argument you can make where he's, A tier for tactical. That's literally how it works. You could have it just like this, and I'd be perfectly fine with this. But I don't think I don't think he's bad. I don't think tactical is bad.
Straight up, if we're going off of potential, I shit on Johnson a lot.
But he looked really good, actually.
He looked really good. So if we're going off of potential, unfortunately, I put Johnson above. Yeah. It's so tough. FBI at least proved that he could carry even on a interesting roster. Johnson, though, like shit.
Yeah,
dude.
at the beginning of last season, people were like, "Is this guy gonna just like blow, take the league by storm?"
Yeah,
he kind of did. He's by his performance. His performances definitely show me he's got potential. Like even on Dintos this past year, he looked great. He looked perfectly fine with Afromu. Yep. And now he's going to play with the new support. So sky's the limit at this point.
Yeah, Diamond is definitely, I would say, an upgrade from Afromu. So it's like, this year's probably going to be the do or die moment for him. Yeah, it's just it's really tough for me to put anyone on the same level as Sven and tactical, but
the only problem I have is definitely. It's like definitely to me is just okay, but maybe that was because he was playing with Ole, who was just literally phoning it in at a certain point.
Ole, again, we're gonna cycle back to the whole like ADCs look good because of their supports and vice versa. I want to say that definitely. I mean, we'll see it pretty quickly whether or not Deathly is actually a half decent ADC or if it, if he's just going to phone it in. Ignar is not a phone-it-in support.
Yeah.
Ignar is going to go hard. If he plays like he did with Evil Genius and FlyQuest, Ignar is going to want to go in. And so we're going to see very quickly if Deathly was phoning it in as well, or if he's on the same page. I think he's on the same page.
Yeah.
Because when we were watching it, we just saw him being frustrated and like try to go in for trades and everything, and wasn't getting the follow-up, but that's at least why I give Deathly a little bit of credit. FlyQuest, Wild Turtle and Rise and Stixxay, I feel like they all are just there because they don't really have the potential to go higher. Everyone else on the list seems to have.
Yeah, the problem with Wild
ability to
Turtle and Stixxay is why they're so low, because we've already kind of seen their ceiling. It's really not that high, actually. Like, if you put Sneaky back in the league, he'd be better than Wild Turtle pretty much instantly, actually.
I don't know. Have you seen him? No. We won't get into that.
No. I mean,
yeah, I see in the comment, Ignar has really good mental. I don't know, man. I've seen him flame in solo queue. So I mean, he might have good mental in a team environment, but I know in solo queue,
I rage in solo queue too. I call people fucking stupid idiots. Who has
patience for solo queue?
Okay, that's fair. That's a fair
dude. I was calling someone a fucking moron just literally 2 days ago, bro. The only thing that maxes the potential on the list is Lost. He could really honestly just be dumpster shit. But to be fair, he's playing around Power of Evil, Sword Art, Huni, Spica. I think he'll be just fine.
I feel like if Lost is probably the only question mark, like the only real question mark that I have.
Yeah.
Huni, anyone who tries to say Huni is worse than Lost has lost their mind. So it's like Lost is the only like real question mark that I have for TSM, but at the same time, TSM hasn't really had a dog shit ADC ever. So
yeah,
like let's see, they went Chaox, then Wild Turtle, then was it Double Lift, and then they went over to Wild Turtle again. So it's like they've never really had a bad ADC, and they've never really picked a bad ADC. They picked up Wild Turtle when everyone thought he was gonna absolutely just shit the bed, and then he made a resurgence, and
he became their starter.
Went back, and then he became their starter again, and then they went back to Double Lift, and Double Lift absolutely fucking crushed it. So it's like, coupled with Sword Art, like I don't see them being like, oh yeah, Lost is an okay ADC, so we're gonna pair him with a fucking world-class support.
Yeah. Plus, he has a lot to learn from Sword Art too. So even just learning from Sword Art, he could also get a lot better too.
That's
the
true.
bot lane potential. Yeah, the bot lane potential of TSM is there, and so putting Lost lower, I feel like is discrediting.
Yeah,
all the environmental factors.
Yeah.
Javi, what do you think about the list so far?
I was iffy on Lost, but after we talked about Lost, I feel more comfortable putting him in B tier, especially with the environmental.
It's up to you, man. If you want to stick say in S tier, hey, bro, hey. It's up to you, man.
All right, this is my first and last call for this.
I think this is a solid list, actually.
I don't think I can't think of anything that like makes me like red flag. There obviously there's we're not actually going to know, but I feel pretty confident that most of these are like more or less in the right position. There's obviously question marks on Neo and Rise. So is it Raze or Rise?
Raze. Oh, sorry guys, Neo wasn't here at the time of a good picture for him to upload. So yeah, where would you put Asta or Neo, or the fuck he must be called?
Is he still going by Neo, or did he do
Neo?
his...
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know anything about him, so I can't say.
It's man.
I probably have my
so Neo is NA. He's not Oceanic. So I mean, obviously he's going to be amazing. But Dignitas's Academy roster, they looked okay. I would say that this was more a move out of necessity than and not really having a better option than anything else. Is it a whoa, you okay? Someone just crashed stuff beside me. Is it Is it the worst thing that they could have done? Probably not. Is there better ADCs out there? Maybe.
Hey,
Is
they could have got Def from Dragon X, right? No, I'm just kidding. Imagine if Def left Korea to go play on Dignitas.
Oh god, dude.
Oh god.
I mean, it wouldn't be the weirdest thing,
but it definitely would be like, Def, you're literally going on the NA meme of retiring. Come on.
I mean, Someday was on. I mean,
he wasn't. Oh yeah, he was on Dignitas at one point. Holy shit. He was like already giving up before he even tried. I'm just kidding. Someday. Oh my god. If I had to put Neo here, probably in like D tier, honestly. He's not gonna. I don't know. I don't have too much faith in him, honestly.
I think he's better than Stixay. But yeah,
okay, everyone's better than 6A in this.
You've been yeah. You're shitting on Stixay because he was so good for a few years, for I would say probably like 3 or 4 years, to be honest. And then he just, I don't know, man. He just fell off. It's so bad. But yeah, Neo and D and C tier is safe. It's just going to be who elevates C tier.
He has to play with Dardoch, Saligo, Fate God, and Alphamo. Ooh.
I feel like D. I feel like he's D still.
I thought he's D tier. Yeah.
You think he's D tier? Maybe. Okay, so if we're going off of Stixay's performance, like, it's just so hard to put anyone and say that they're like as bad as what Stixay put forward. Like,
yeah, that's a good point. I guess like in my head, it's just given who he has around this talent, I just feel like they're not going to perform better than him, even if he has individual better performances than 6A, if that makes sense.
You know what? That's fair. That's actually fair.
I like that. Dang, I'm glad he's here. He would have missed that point. Whew. I would put Neo at D tier. And there's a world you could probably put. Yeah, I'd probably put him in D tier. There's a world you could put Raze here too, but it's like, do we really expect him to do well? Like a lot of this new Oceanic AD carry talents come in. We've seen them, like FBI lost. FBI lost. Who's the other guy I'm thinking about? King
for ADC or
for ADC. Yeah, King. He's pretty solid. Other than that, I mean, I'm gonna have to go back and watch some more Raze games. He did not really surprise me, dude. He looked okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we didn't put him in D tier, because he looked okay.
I mean,
C tier just the okay tier. You know what? That's actually fair, because like D tier is you are a detriment. C tier is you're going to drop common items when you die.
You buy a whole fucking plate of tier of goddesses or some shit.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I would say Ryzen Neo.
6A Raze Neo. That seems like Wild Turtle is your average measuring stick.
Is your average measuring stick? Are you better than Wild Turtle? It's like, oh man, that's such a
I feel like that's a fair C.
Yeah, sorry? If you're not better than Wild Turtle, then I think you should be higher than him, actually. Because at Worlds, when we're looking at the Worlds 2020 performances out of both these guys that are Raze and Wild Turtle looks substantially better. It was like it's a pretty big margin there.
Yeah, no, actually, you're 100% right there. So at least on the international potential.
Ooh, that means Wild Turtle has to be S tier, right? No.
Yeah.
All right.
I think for these, just really quickly, for these tier lists, I think like S tiers is like, if you put them against international competition, are they going to choke? And like, that's how I look at S tier and like A tier, B tier, etc.
Oh, that's a good measuring stick too. I like
choking that. Worlds 2020, 2021. Jesus Christ, we're almost done 2020.
Because if I had that point you just made, Tactical didn't really choke against them. The issue why Tactical did bad was because they actually drafted so bad. How you draft Twitch and Recall in first rotation? What is that?
I mean, now it's good because Kraken's no.
They actually just drafted horrible
They really did.
Yeah.
They really did.
My dude got
it's like
Twitch first rotation against Suning. What are you doing? He played against a Draven. He got absolutely real. They thought one thing was about as good as Walter. They're like, no, this guy's just insane.
No, for real. It's like an NA draft where it's like in NA you can pull that stuff off, but like internationally you can't.
How the fuck do you pick Twitch first rotation? Who in their right mind thought that was a good idea?
Well, so in their defense, Core JJ on Recon, yeah, we know what the guy does on Recon. Twitch, I feel like, was their way of throwing in a massive fucking, not a wild card, but at least a wrench in Suning's plans, because it basically puts a time limit. Twitch is like one of those ADCs where when you get 3 items, Blade of the Ruined King, Ruinous Hurricane, and then Infinity Edge, a team can play around that and it's GG.
Yeah, like he had a really good Twitch game against Unicorns of Love that looked really good, but that was against Unicorns of Love. That's the issue here. You know, he's playing
against Unicorns of Love. I mean, it stands to reason that you can comfortably pull it off against. Okay, so this was something that people brought up. If something works, then it stands to reason that it can work again.
That's true. Yeah,
shouldn't necessarily be dictated by only the team that you're playing against. Yes, it only worked against Unicorns of Love. But here's the question. Is Unicorns of Love... Everyone's like going to be like, oh, Unicorns of Love doesn't stand a chance against Suning. Well, sure, but it threw a wrench enough in their plans that they ended up playing scared around bot side. Twitch was able to, just fucking explode, and they won the game off of that. What's to say the same thing wouldn't have happened with Suning?
Yeah,
the
only argument usually is, the only argument from people who don't know what they're talking about is usually like, well, it won't happen because they're just that much better. That's not how that works, though. It's not basketball. It's not like that's not how that works, though. That's not how it's not.
It's not like you take Kobe versus some unknown person,
like fucking Carmelo Anthony,
Carmelo Anthony or something like that. It's not like that, because the problem is with League, it's 5 people, and it's not just a big 1v1. So yeah, if Suning did, and to be fair, Suning played that perfectly. They recognized, okay, Twitch might be a problem late, but when Twitch is not a problem? Early game. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna just buck him up.
I like when I Will Dominate today drafted a Twitch and he couldn't even sniff the CS. That's how bad.
No, exactly.
That's true.
Imagine in that game if they didn't get out jungled. Like, let's be straight. That strategy fell apart because
Broxy just instantly losing on Lillian against Graves. And Lillian's not a bad jungler against Graves. She actually does really well.
No, but Graves is also super fucking good at early game skirmishes, and they played that perfectly. They managed to what was it? They caught him in between camps when Lilia was a little bit lower.
Yeah, I remember that.
So yeah, they played that really well. So it's like, I would say that was, while it was not necessarily a great draft, there is a world where it would have worked. It's just Suning recognized how they were going to exploit that, and Team Liquid didn't 200 IQ to counteract that, because there's several layers to this. What Team Liquid should have been thinking is like, okay, this team is better than Unicorns of Love, so this is how you would counter it.
Yeah,
they're going to try and play to counter to basically take over our jungle, put pressure on Twitch, stop Twitch from being able to actually comfortably CS and just get to his power spike and everything. And instead, Liquid didn't really recognize that. In theory, you would have had Jensen rotating down, because that with the clear speed of Graves, Lilia and Graves were probably going to have a skirmish, and so you draft a wave clear mid laner so Jensen can rotate earlier so that you can get a 2v1 and be able to counter the skirmishing. Now you have pressure on bot side, and your Twitch is able to comfortably farm up and everything there. But again, it all comes down to, I hate when people say that draft decides the game. This is going to get on a different topic, but I hate. My biggest fucking gripe is in the C9 Facebook thing. There are so many people who just
Actually,
rag on draft every time. And I'm like, guys, the game isn't over after drafted. They're like, no, they have no chance of winning. I'm like,
there are chances of winning.
there is a real chance of them winning.
I think it came from my boy Caleb. Oh my gosh! Oh Lord, Caleb. Hedgie.
I haven't heard that name in forever. Holy shit!
Caleb, hey Hedgie, if you're doing okay, hit me up sometime, man. Hope you're doing well. The problem here is what a lot of them don't understand is that a coach generally works on a draft with a team, and then you're given a draft. I've seen some of the most shitty drafts you could probably imagine in the LPL. Some of those teams have actually won those games. Well, I don't know why, because they're not dog shit. They're not stupid. They understand if I have a limited window in order to win, I need to execute on that window. What a lot of the NA teams do is that they know they have only these little few windows to win the game, and it's good to have these windows to win the game through because it teaches you a different way of playing the game. It teaches you how to play faster or slower or more stable depending on the comp. Like, people need to understand this. League is dependent on your comp. It really is. Like, I could have a comp of all early game snowballing champions, and SKT could have a comp of just a bunch of late game scaling champions. Now, if I do not actually beat them early game, it's very, very reasonable why I lost. I didn't win early game. Well, and what a lot of people generally fail to forget is it's based on how the team plays the draft. So let's say if you have a fucking comp of like, I don't know, let's make one up. Orin, Lillian, Azir,
Let's just go with what is currently played, which is going to be Mordekaiser.
Mordekaiser top, okay.
Mordekaiser top. Fuck, I don't know. Graves jungle, he's still kind of relevant.
Okay.
Zoe mid.
Okay.
And then
Samira.
Samira and Seraphine in the bot side. You don't win against that, because you should have banned fucking champions.
You don't win against it because that just shit stops you. That stops you into the ground.
I heard that out loud, and I thought this was a serious point, and then I was just like, please.
If there's a draft, you're the coach that lets that draft go, you should be fired. What the hell? You're going to get destroyed.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, you read that out loud, and I was like, OP pick.
Yeah, I was like,
right?
Wait, let's let 5 of the most broken champions go through draft.
Samira, Seraphine, that's just like instant destruction. Oh my god. But in terms of even that does have a window in terms of how well you can either win, or there's windows where you can still lose. I don't see a lot of, how would I say, no, that's late game potential. No, because Zoe does kind of fall off late game. Does she a little bit?
It depends. Right now is really fucking annoying.
Yeah. But see, that's the issue though. Like, there's, when you talk to draft about one, it's like Superman. If you ask who Superman is to anybody, you're gonna get 10 different answers. It's the same thing with drafting. If you talk to someone about drafting for League of Legends, you're gonna get 10 different answers about how that person sees the game, how the players see the game, how they perceive to actually obviously want to win the game. And that's the issue here, is that, I think Mithy brought this up in like that Reflections episode with Thorin. They could never settle on a draft in Fnatic, which is the reason why their drafts always look kind of wonky, always kind of bad, for most given reasons. So I understand what you're saying. And also, people were talking, like, it was back when Tom Kench was still kind of meta before they gutted the fish into the ground. It's like, if I have a Tom Kench and I don't move around the map saving people, helping my jungler out, yeah, the Tom Kench will look trash. It's not like when fucking what's his name? JJ, not Core JJ, who used to play on FlyQuest. Right, he used to play Tom Kench. Bad. That was absolutely terrible. It was horrible, man. But if I put Tom Kench on someone like Core JJ, well, it's gonna look a lot more different. So yeah, we're about to head out of here. Got about like another 2 minutes left. Anything else you guys want to say before we head out?
No, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun, and we'll see you next week. Yeah. Yeah.
Top lane and support. And then next list, top lane support. Hey.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Top lane support.
See you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe. Most of all, enjoy. Nightwing, Wave Life Esports is signing out, guys. Peace. Forgot. Oh my God. It's New Year's. Happy New Year's, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Hope you guys had a great Christmas. But Happy New Year. We'll be in 2021 where Trump will be president. I'm just kidding. That's how you ended off. See you guys later.
Why would you say this?
Take it easy, y'all. Have a good one.
Peace. Goodbye.